afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our 7th annual Field of Honor ceremony. This has become a tradition in our school and in the Oyster Bay East Norwich community at large. As the proud daughter of a veteran who served in the United States Army, I am so proud to be a part of a community that recognizes our veterans and understands and appreciates the importance of the service each has provided to our country. I would like to thank Mr. Pardue, our assistant principal, and Mr. Caputo, advisor to the Interact Club, for organizing this event. Thank you to Mr. Sissia, who will be directing our musicians. I'm sure you all agree how nice it is to hear our students playing outside on such a beautiful afternoon. Special thank you to Mike Rispoli, who, as always, has prepared our grounds beautifully for this event, and a very personal special thank you to Miss Brittany Cahill, who you will hear from later on during this event. Nothing will stop us from recognizing the men and women who have served our country, and at this time, I would like to call up Mr. Pardue to continue with our Field of Honor ceremony. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you for your attentiveness and respect. Throughout Oyster Bay's history, many of our community members have served our country in numerous situations of armed conflict. In fact, former President and Oyster Bay resident Teddy Roosevelt is one of many Oyster Bay residents who have bravely served our nation. Service to our community and our country has not happened without the sacrifices of those who served and by their families. As the son of an Army veteran, I grew up living on military bases both here and overseas. While my father served 20 years in active duty, I know all too well the sacrifices that both service members and their families make. We are here today to honor and remember our local heroes who have touched countless lives in so many ways. The brave men and women that have served in the armed forces did so to protect us and ensure the freedoms that we enjoy every single day. On this day, the 10th of November, 2022, we are honored to welcome you to Oyster Bay High School for our celebration of Veterans Day and our annual Field of Honor. At this time, we ask that you please rise, if you are not rising already, so that we can honor America as we welcome the Oyster Bay High School Band under the direction of Mr. Matt Sissia as they perform our national anthem. To introduce Ms. Mariana Panariello, President of Interact, who will introduce Oyster Bay's Field of Honor.
Good afternoon to everyone. Today, we are here to support, recognize, and thank those who have served to ensure the safety and security of our country every day. With the help of the Interact Club and members of our local Oyster Bay community, we have created a tradition called the Field of Honor as a way to commemorate and express our gratitude to veterans for their service, bravery, selflessness, and numerous sacrifices that they have made in protecting our beloved nation. The sponsorship that we receive for each flag on display signifies a donation to our local veteran organizations. I will now read an excerpt reprinted from Dear Abby named Your Flag. I've been called Star Spangled Banner by some. Some others refer to me as Old Glory. Whatever they call me, I am your flag, the flag of the United States of America. I remember the day when people lined up on both sides of the street to watch a parade. Like always, I was leading the parade, proudly waving in the breeze. When I passed by your father, he immediately removed his hat and placed it on his left shoulder so the hand was directly over his heart. Over the years, I've walked down a lot of streets, and I don't see this any longer. What happened? I'm still the same old flag. But now I don't feel as proud as I used to. When I come down the street, you just stand there with your hand in your pockets, and I may get a small glance when I pass by, and then you look the other way. Have you forgotten what I stand for and where I've been? The men that fought for the stars I carry on my back? Take a look at the memorial honor cords. Read the names of those who never came back, those who fought to keep this republic free. The day will come when I will be coming down your street again. So when you see me, stand straight, place your right hand over your heart, and I will salute you by waving back. In honor of all veterans, past and present, our Field of Honor stands as a tribute to all those who have served and as a testament of their dedication and love for this country. Thank you for your time, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Mariana. Today, we have the honor of having veterans present from the American Legion and from AMVETS. The American Legion was chartered and incorporated by Congress in 1919 as a patriotic veterans organization devoted to mutual helpfulness. It is the nation's largest wartime veterans service organization, committed to mentoring youth and sponsorship of wholesome programs in our communities, advocating patriotism and honor, promoting strong national security, and continued devotion to our fellow service members and veterans. AMVET's mission statement is to enhance and safeguard the entitlements for all American veterans who have served honorably and to improve the quality of life for them, their families, and the communities where they live through leadership, advocacy, and services. At this time, I would like to ask that members of the American Legion and AMVETS to stand. Please join me in thanking these very special members of our community. And thank you to all of our veterans here today. You may be seated. At this time, I'd like to introduce Mr. Anthony Caputo, advisor of the Interact Club.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm proud to be the advisor of the Interact Club, and this year we did raise a lot of money at the Oyster Fest, and we used that money to help community organizations, both in the school and in our Oyster Bay town. So this year I want to thank those of you who already have given to the Field of Honor, and Interact has now pledged to match all those funds to give to AMVETS and the American Legion, and we will match all the funds that we've already gotten and will get in the coming weeks. I have to say that when I was coming here this morning, my wife wanted to remind everyone about the birthday of the Marines, and it comes along with multiple texts I get throughout the year to make sure that I talk to my students about D-Day and Pearl Harbor. So the Field of Honor Day is something that I would like all the students to make sure they bring to their communities if they ever do leave Oyster Bay. And if you stay in Oyster Bay, make sure that this ceremony stays forever. It is a beautiful ceremony to honor those who have served our country and are serving right now. So Veterans Day is a time in which, as Americans, we put aside our differences to recognize and thank those who have served our country. Their willingness to serve, protect, and sacrifice enables us to freely express those differences. Oyster Bay High School is proud to have members of our community currently serving our country. Specifically, Mrs. Cahill's husband, Jason, is on deployment. And at this time, I would like to invite Mr. Cahill to come speak about his service.
Good afternoon. I'm Brittany Cahill, a teacher here at Oyster Bay, and as you may know, my husband Jason is currently deployed as a captain in the U.S. Army. Jason is a patriot and considers his service to our country an obligation and an honor. His family has always served in the armed forces, and he was greatly influenced by his grandfathers, who were both veterans of the Marine Corps that served in World War II. Jason commissioned as a second lieutenant in the U.S. Army from Texas Tech University, ROTC, in 2011. He then attended Infantry Officer Basic School and Airborne School and was assigned to Charlie Company 2108th Infantry of the Army National Guard, where he served as a platoon leader for 3 years. Concurrently, he started law school at New York Law. In 2014, Jason was assigned to Alpha Company 2108, where he served as the company executive officer and then served as an operation officer in the 2108 from 2017 to 2018. In 2018, Jason also took command of Charlie Company 2108 Infantry, during which time the company was activated to assist with various missions. In response to the COVID-19 pandemic, Jason was activated to assist the New York City Medical Examiner's Office with decedent recovery from March to June of 2020. Jason put his safety second to help fellow New Yorkers. His company was later activated for the Washington, D.C. Capitol Response Mission from January to March 2021. During this time, our daughter, Scarlett Rose, was born. Jason was able to come home for her birth and the first 3 weeks of her life, and then return to Washington, D.C. to complete the mission. In June 2022, Jason began training for his deployment in support of Operation Enduring Freedom, Horn of Africa, as the lead Task Force Operations Officer of Task Force Wolfhound, comprised of the 169 Infantry Battalion, also known as the Fighting 69th. Jason is also the battle captain of the East Africa Response Force. Task Force Wolfhound is currently operating in areas throughout Djibouti, Somalia, and Kenya. Jason has been in Africa since the end of August and will return home in June 2023. It is really hard to be home without Jason. Scarlett and I miss him dearly. This Veterans Day has me reflecting on both the sacrifices that veterans make as well as those of their family members. While it broke Jason's heart to have to leave me and his baby girl, he did so proudly, living up to his obligation to our country. With Jason away, I am both mom and dad to Scarlett, a full-time teacher, and taking care of our household. Scarlett is sacrificing a year of playtime, hugs, and learning from her father. I am lucky to have received a great deal of support from my family and friends, especially my mom. I could not imagine surviving this year without them. I am also fortunate to be working with such a great group of students this year. You all help make each day just a little bit easier. As much as I would love to have my husband home, I am so very proud of Jason and what he is doing for our country, for me, for Scarlett, and all of you listening to me now. Our veterans and current servicemen are honored today, as they should be, for the devotion to their families by protecting our country and keeping all of us safe. I stand here today to salute all the veterans and the family members who waited for their safe return. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cahill, and thank you to your family for your continued sacrifice. In a few moments, we will have a moment of silence, followed by the playing of taps, performed under the direction of Mr. Matt Sissia. During this time, a veteran's wreath will be unveiled by Ms. Cahill and will be displayed next to our Field of Honor and 9/11 Memorial, which will serve as a reminder to the public to remember all of our veterans and heroes. A special thanks goes out to Ms. Rebecca Lieberman and Ms. Melissa Argaman for creating the veteran's wreath you will see displayed. Thank you both so much. At this time, I would ask Ms. Brittany Cahill to take our wreath and display it next to the 9/11 Memorial and Field of Honor. At this time, I ask that you all join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you. As one of the assistant principals at Oyster Bay High School within this amazing community, the Field of Honor is something that I was looking forward to for the first time I heard about it. In my previous schools, we always would be mindful of Veterans Day, but lacked the necessary acknowledgement of it. I am thankful I get to partake in it this year, and will have great pride being part of it every year moving forward. When I look at all these beautiful flags behind everyone, and I look up here at all the brave veterans who have fought to defend our freedoms, I can't help but be proud of this community and the members that make it so special. Today's ceremony would not be possible without the support of so many individuals that I would like to take a minute to thank. Thank you to the Board of Education, our Superintendent, Dr. Ianni, Ms. Raynor, Mr. Farina, Ms. Gallegos, Ms. Lasher, Mr. Pardue, Mr. Caputo and our Interact Club, Ms. Gilio Pack, Mr. Dolan for recording this ceremony, Mr. Sissia and the members of our band for helping to make today a reality, and Ms. Cahill for sharing her and her husband's story as well. A special thanks to Mr. Rispoli and the custodial staff for all their help in making today's ceremony possible and for creating our beautiful Field of Honor. And most importantly, we would like to thank our veterans, Mr. Bob Lane, Richard DeJesu, Robert Selby, and Joseph Messina for attending today. You have all sacrificed so much to defend our way of life, truly embodying what it means to be a hero. As you go home today, this is for everybody here, students, as we go home today and enjoy a day off from school tomorrow, please, at some point, remember all of our veterans who have served and those who continue to serve. Thank you, and everybody have a great weekend.